Tip number 1. Check your audio before you record. Because I just shot my first good take in a long time. And I did the whole thing all the way through. And none of that audio was usable. So we're going to talk about 11 note groupings again in septuplets. And I'm going to hold your hand through it. And we're going to get through this crappy time together. So this is Christmas week, and Merry Christmas, Happy Solstice, Happy Holidays, all that stuff. My room looks good. You can't see it because it's still a mess and it's still in progress. I think I used to face the camera the other way, which is where you are now. So you have a different view. You have my shelves, and you can see my pops back there and some other junk because, again, still not done, but I'm assuming you don't care about that and you just want to get to the drum stuff. Well, tough, because I have to complain about how hard all of this stuff is. I don't understand how all of these people do it. Like, I like things that look pretty, which is one of the reasons why I have the camera stuff. That's why I invest in microphones and all of that stuff. I like things that look good, things that sound good, and maybe have a little substance to the style, eh? But I feel like all of this stuff is just learning the hard way. I'm learning what pieces of gear don't really want to work well together. Learning the cable length restrictions for different types of USB protocols. I thought that I was actually fairly good at Logic, but I think I had a problem with dropouts before, so, which was fine. I didn't, nail the drum parts. I mean, I actually did. There's this one part where I played the septuplet thing for the first time at like 90 beats per minute, and that's not the easiest thing in the world to do, and I was super proud of myself. Actually, I was super proud of myself for the whole thing. I was an amount of charming I don't get a chance to be that often, and I was talking to you guys like you were old friends, all 12 of you, and pity party over. Let's get to work. In order to do this, I have to assume two things. I have to assume that you know how to divide up larger groupings into smaller chunks. So the 11 that I like, one of the 11s that I like, but I don't know why, but I'm a particular fan of this 11. It's 2 groupings of 4 and a grouping of 3. And I have to assume that you know how septuplets work, because I'm not going to teach that here. But I mean, you could always reach out to me for a lesson, www.drumosophy.com. In order to get this lick that I'm about to show you, which is basically just a 11 cycle again in septuplets. Clapping and counting is a great place to start. So can you count septuplets and clap the 11 note grouping? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's that part. Let's see if we can slow it down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Can you flip that around, and can you sing the 11 and clap on quarter notes? Da 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 1. Obviously, You can take both of those sections back and play them as many times as you'd like, but that is the structure. I'm kind of so used to the way that 7 cycles that it's sort of internalized. Here it is on the drum set, super slow. Sometimes I do that a little differently. Instead of going right and then left crash, I'll go left and then the right crash at the end. It doesn't matter. That's your preference. There are tons of 11-note things that you can try. For instance, you see how I still have that similar like single note and then crash? It's because I actually did it correctly, and the groupings just kind of work out that way. So it doesn't matter how you sort of divide that time. It's always going to work out the same way, which is sort of the beauty about dealing with cycles. There are so many different orchestrations and so many different stickings, so you can have different shapes to kind of play with, but it's all kind of predictable. And you can interchange those shapes too. I'm not going to do that because I haven't practiced it yet. You know what? I'm not going to be a coward. I'm going to try to alternate the 4-4-3 and the 5-6. Let's see if I can do this. One more time. That took entirely too long. And a lot of thought. But screw it, let's speed it up. That's something for me to practice later. It definitely does not roll off the tongue the way that I would like it to, but this is kind of how I make discoveries. Because, you know, any of us that think about drums and how, like, things can be done, we could easily think ourselves into new possibilities. And if you have these conversations with friends or with students, when you're just talking about, you know, we're talking about improvisation, we're talking about finding your voice, these are the types of things that I end up sort of taking and, you know, practicing on my own. So this is a little hint that you should probably be teaching if you're at that point in your playing life, because, oh my gosh, teaching is such a rewarding experience, and you learn so much about yourself, your own faults, and what you need to work on, as well as discovering exercises that you create for your students, but will also work for you too. What's good for the goose, right? So I think I said something about speeding this up, so not the 5 and the 6 one, because I haven't practiced that, and I promise you I will fall apart. But let's see if I can get this thing up to where I was before on the first take of this video. I hope this gets easier.